was the report from Bob Nightengale today in USA Today. You had to scroll way down in his notebook because he usually has like 2 or 3 feature topics, and then he gets into his notes, what he's hearing. And he said today the Padres recently made an offer for White Sox ace Garrett Crochet, but it was quickly dismissed. While rival GMs are uncertain now whether Crochet will be dealt, the White Sox still fully intend to move him. And if you're the White Sox, don't you have to move him? Just get the best package and move him. The White Sox will say, no, we don't have to because they want to have leverage, right? But, I mean, you're the White Sox. Garrett Crochet is one of the best pitchers in baseball this year. You don't know if he's going to get hurt. He's had injury issues in the past. He is pitching great. Go get, like, this is probably the highest. You know, I don't want to compare it to Ha-Seong Kim because these are two different guys. But remember Ha-Seong Kim at the end of last year, there were the discussions of would they trade Kim? Bogaerts is going to be here long term. Kim's probably not going to be here after this year anyway. Do you trade him? He's not getting traded now. His value has went down ever since then. He had value, and then now you wouldn't get a ton back for him. So there's that. I could compare this to with the White Sox. Especially with the pitcher, he could get hurt, a couple starts after you decide not to move him, and then the return goes down, one, because it's less control that team acquiring him has, and because he's coming off of an injury or he's hurt when that team wants to at least still acquire him. That's a risk. So I think Preller is going to still continue to try for Garrett Crochet. What do we think was the package for Garrett Crochet? It did not include DeVries. It did not include Salas's. I 100% guarantee you that, or else the White Sox probably would have took it, because is there going to be another team out there that has the talent of Salas or has the talent of DeVries that would be willing to give those guys up for Crochet? I don't know. The Orioles are out there. Maybe the Dodgers seem to always have that talent, so maybe they have a lot of guys hurt, though, that might come back. So we'll see. But the Padres, they're not going to give up DeVries. They're not going to give up Salas for Garrett Crochet. I would be shocked if Preller does that. If he does that, then I think that is like guaranteeing that Preller is playing for his job. He is doing this for his job. Because if he felt like he wasn't, then he would not deal DeVries. He would not be dealing Salas. And even if he dealt those guys, unless it ended up in like a World Series run, he may still go, because the Padres might be like, why in the world would you trade Salas or DeVries? Why would you trade them when they could be another Jackson Merrill, or even better than Jackson Merrill? They could be another Tatis type talent. Why would you do that for how many years of Garrett Crochet when he hasn't proven it year in and this is not like the Padres are trading for Max Scherzer, Hall of Fame talent. Yeah, Crochet's pitching well, and there's talent there, but there's also that injury risk. He has not done it year in. This is not doing. I was more confident in the Padres trading for Dylan Cease than I would be if the Padres traded for Garrett Crochet. That's how I feel. So, yeah, I just don't see that happening. I think that this first package, in negotiations, you start as low as you can, and then you work your way up. So maybe Preller adds guys, but it probably included Graham Pauley. Maybe they tried to put Adam Major in there. It included maybe someone like Ryan Berger, top prospects. That does not include Salas. That does not include DeVries. Maybe even this first one included Dylan Lesko or Robbie Snelling, and the White Sox are just like, no, Salas or DeVries, and then more. If it's not that, then we're not talking. At least right now. It's July 14th. If they feel like, yeah, we need to trade him right now because of the risk I talked about, then maybe they accept Snelling or Lesko. Because if you trade for Garrett Crochet, I would think that Pauley's gone. I would think that Lesko or Snelling is gone. So one of them we're going to have to accept being gone. But there might be a right if DeVries or Salas is traded. Even though it's a prospect, I get it. But there's a lot of hype around these guys if they are traded for Garrett Crochet. It's one thing that James Wood was traded for Juan Soto. That was Juan Soto. That was years of production. That was one of the best players in baseball. Garrett Crochet, sure, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball right now, but he's not the Juan Soto of pitching. And it needs to be that level to be giving up those guys. Maybe even it's just you're not giving up those guys because of what happened in that Juan Soto deal, because you have guys like Jackson Merrill coming up at the big league level and they're performing. And it's like, no, this could be a couple more of these guys. We're not trading those guys. We can go get pitching elsewhere. If Darvish and Musgrove don't come back, regardless of who the Padres go get at the deadline, what are the chances of the Padres going on a deep run? If they have Cease, King, and another starter, let's say, you have Waldron, that's decent, and surprises can happen, but I don't feel very confident in that the Padres would go win the World Series with that. I think health is going to be big here. So, there's a lot of things the Padres have to take into account here, but that's the update. Not surprising, the Padres already recently made an offer for White Sox ace Garrett Crochet, quickly dismissed. That's how negotiations go, especially when it's July 14th and the deadline is not till, the end of the month. There's still time here. These front offices, the draft's going on right now, they're focused on that. So that's the update.